Jimmy, we got to get an update from you, if you don't mind, on the Justice Reinvestment Act. We had the mass release of inmates back in November. Are we going to have another one of those coming up this year? I know you'll be blunt. Yeah, if it's coming, most of these folks are going to get out anyway, right?
That's correct. No, that was the only time that, and I don't call it a mass release, that we had the exceptional numbers, if you will, on releasing people. But yeah, that was the one piece of legislation that was retroactive, and that's it. I mean, everything else kind of goes back to normal now. We have, obviously there's a few extras every month, but I think the numbers are somewhere around 40 or 50 or 60 a month. In addition to what normally would be released.
We had issues and concerns here by our sheriffs that the Justice Reinvestment Act kind of put the horse before the cart before the horse, in that we were supposed to have all these programs in place, and that didn't happen ahead of time. What programs will be put in place now as a result of Justice Reinvestment, and are they ready to go?
Well, look. Let me back up just a little bit. These people were going to be released anyway, and they were going to be released to no programming anyway.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
There's no plans for programming in this state, and this is a plan. And so, basically concentrating. Look, we have a major meeting on January 18th with what we call in the funders meeting, where we're working with United Ways and the Wilson Foundations in Louisiana, a lot of the nonprofits out there that are already somewhat involved in the criminal justice system, and we're looking at ways to find match money to match the money that we're going to save, and actually so creating additional funding for mental health, for substance abuse, for job finding, for the things that we know, residential plans, things that we know are obstruction to these people going back into our communities. So January 18th is the first. Actually, we've already had a couple of meetings, but this is the first big meeting that we're going to have with the funders. And then after that, our target is April 1st is what we want to have some what we call RFPs, requests for purchase, for going out into the communities, looking, awarding grants and doing the things that we need to be doing in regards to mental health and substance abuse and all the other things I just mentioned. Mm-hmm. Being ready for a July 1st kickoff.
Mr. Jimmy, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I apologize.
I guess what I'm saying is this, this goes through a process. We have to go before the Joint Legislative Budget Committee in June to present our savings and then allocate those savings into an obligation fund for 17-18.
This was a bill, this was legislation that was passed by a majority Republican, both sides of the Louisiana legislature. Do you think that legislature made a mistake? And do you think that they sort of underfunded everything? And if that's the case, why was it done like that, other than, we don't have any money?
Well, I think everybody understood what was going on, and that if we're going to provide programming in our criminal justice system, that we have to find a way to do it, and the way to do it is let's we're going to create some savings here in doing this. And everybody that was released is nonviolent. I know we've had those stories about what else is going on, and some of that is really in reference to front end, what I call front end in the criminal justice system, on when they sentence people, that they need to do a better job of sentencing people if they have 55 arrests before they get to us. There's no reason for that, and we need to be looking at that, and we're all going to be looking at that. But there was no mistake made. I think everybody understood what the process was. I think it was House Bill 489 by Representative Leger was the bill that was turned into an act, and I don't know what the numbers are. I don't have them in front of me what the act number is, that creates this fund, and it also requires us, and the governor's, you haven't seen it yet, but he's getting ready to appoint an oversight council that will help us, guide us, if you will, into the reinvestment part of this. So, no, I don't think there was any mistake made. I think we have a plan here, and this is not going to be a cure overnight. This is something that we all have to be patient with, and we all need to work together here. Our communities, our DAs, our sheriffs, our judges, the entire criminal justice system, along with the private sector and people. Look, and I've said this many a times, we're finally getting attention to those coming back to our communities. We were returning, $1,500 a month anyway. you know, and nobody seemed to care about those 15. I say nobody. Most people didn't understand that or don't understand that. And you know, we're going to be concentrating on 5 parishes, which is Caddo, East Baton Rouge, Orleans, Jefferson, and St. Tammany, which occupies 40% of our prisons. So our major initiative will take place first in those 5 parishes.
So that means programming here for Caddo.
That's right. That's exactly right. We are, you know, Sheriff Prater does a good job there already with programming. That was our first reentry center in the state. I was there with Governor Jindal when we were there for the opening of that reentry center. That was the first of 9 that we have now, which has driven our prison population down. At the time was around 4,000 down, and today it's almost 7,000 down from when it peaked. Now, you know, and we haven't been at these numbers since I think it's around 1999 that our prison population is down to today. You know, so that's a good thing, and again, that's a money saving, and we got people. Our probation and parole officers are working hard. You know,
are they stretched? We're hearing from them that their offices are stretched. What are we going to do about that?
Well, first of all, we finally got them a pay raise, and I know that doesn't help the numbers, but it helps the morale, and you know, it prevents turnover. It doesn't, and they're getting paid what they deserve to get paid, and that has kind of put them at another level. And gradually over the 10-year, I think the projection is that their population, the probation pro population, will go down by 10,000, which right now is at 70. So it'll be down to 60,000 in 10 years. It'll start going down on some other legislation, you know, on compliance credits, where people who are doing the right things, doing what they're supposed to be doing, supporting their family, going to church, working, that we don't need to be spending time with those people. We need to let them go ahead and go about their life. And that we give them credits for doing good time, if you will, on probation and parole. So those numbers will begin to drop. Probably in the next 2 or 3 months, we'll start seeing a drop.